Witchstones are a divination tool we created as part of our practice that deals with what we call concrete stones, specific types and kinds of energy, and conceptual stones, things and ideas about witchcraft, which can be read with either a seen or an unseen meaning. Recently, we have developed a set of oracle cards using this information. We would like to introduce you to one of these stones right now.
So in today's Witchstone Spotlight, we'll be looking at the stone card for the Divine. Concept stones focus on an aspect of the craft rather than a specific physical energy, and they detail the causal relationship of action and result, echoing the ideas of as above, so below, and as below, so above. The Divine Stone card is the third of 8 mental concept stones of the Witchstone Oracle deck that relate to the energy of thoughts or processes. It displays a pictograph of a white spiral that circles inward with light rays around it, surrounded by a white and black border. Again, the border being split, white over black, tells us that this is a concept stone. And the border being white over black, or air over earth, tells us that this card represents a mental concept. Throughout ancient history, there have been pairs of god-goddess figures that have represented the dichotomies of light and dark. They were not exclusive, and one could not exist without the other, while humans since have assigned meanings to the light as good and the dark as evil. Many of the myths talk about how light was created out of darkness, and they were more symbolic of order and chaos than of good versus evil. For those of us on the path, the divine is the external or transcendent source of creation. It is whatever each of us conceives to be the supreme being, whose intrinsic nature is unknowable. Because of our humanity, we believe that each of us has an internal spark of the divine within our souls, which is what put us on this spiritual journey. The path we walk is an expression of this longing to connect with the source, or what we call the external spark of the divine of the universe. The divine is the creative source for the universe, so the energy is completely projective. In essence, it radiates thoughts, ideas, and inspirations outward that manifest constantly in new and different ways. It does not need to receive anything because it creates anything it wants or needs. As such, it is completely beyond human comprehension. As it is always completely projective, its energy is associated with the light half of the year. The Divine Stone card is associated with the full moon lunar phase. The divine represents thoughts and ideas when reflecting on the element of air. The divine represents personal development when reflecting on the element of earth. The seen energy for the Divine Stone card in a reading is the all that is, harmony, and integrating. The all that is may be thought of as another name for the divine, and you may be feeling a greater connection than ever before at this time. Harmony is that feeling that all parts of yourself or your world are acting or moving in the same direction with ease, and you should be savoring this feeling of temporary calmness. Integrating may mean that parts of yourself that you were not feeling connected with or that you have been learning more about are moving to become part of who you are right now as a spiritual person. The unseen energy for the Divine Stone card in a reading is the all that is, feeling lost, and seeking connection. The all that is may be the source of the universe, but you may be experiencing doubts about whether you are on the right spiritual path, which is a perfectly normal part of any spiritual practice. Questioning your beliefs is not wrong, but necessary for growth. Feeling lost may mean you feel disconnected from your own internal spark of the divine and may need to renew a personal practice to reconnect to it. And seeking connection may mean you are actively working to increase your personal links to both your internal spark and the external spark of the divine.
We have heard from some of our listeners who appreciate what we are talking about in our segments, but are asking for spells or about spells. Can you give me a spell for this or that? I want to be able to fill in the blank here, find love, romance, money, etc. Since you asked, we are adding a small segment to some of our podcasts going forward that we are calling Practical Magic for the Everyday Witch. These are simple spells we use that don't require a lot of ingredients for correspondences or sometimes no ingredients at all. Because we like to be able to use magic to deal with the practical everyday stuff, this is what we have to share. However, the biggest reminder about spellcraft is that the best spells are the ones you create for yourself because they are a part of your own magic. Actually, there are 3 important components to any spell. Number 1 is setting your intent. This means that you need to be able to state clearly and precisely what you want your spell to do and how you want it to be done. Number 2 is ingredients. Any physical items you need to cast your spell, such as candles or herbs, or to act as correspondences, which are representations of something physical that you don't have right in front of you or are trying to come up with or manifest. Finally, number 3 is some sort of way to raise energy. After all spells are powered by energy, and there are a number of different ways to raise this type of energy, including chanting or various movements. Now, you know we all have those times when we just can't find something we need right now. We know we left it right somewhere. Now it's gone, and we need it back. This spell is all about finding something, usually something small, that we have misplaced. Obviously, your intent is, I will find whatever item I am missing right now. The only thing you need for this spell is yourself. And here is the spell chant you are going to use. As I open my eyes, I turn to see my missing item in front of me. What you're going to do is go to the place where you last saw or you absolutely know you left that item. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, 1 for body, 1 for mind, and 1 for spirit to center yourself. Open your eyes, turn in a circle while saying the spell chant, which is 1 more time. As I open my eyes, I turn to see my missing item in front of me. Now there's your lost item. Pick it up and go on with whatever you were trying to do. Simple, quick, and to the point. We like our spells to be as simple and quick and practical as possible because we often don't have time for something complicated. Before we go, we would like to present you with a tip or trick or witchy hint, just something to make your day go better because we live in a mixture of the magical and the mundane.
For centuries, we've known how strongly our sense of scent is a powerful and instinctive trigger for some of our most basic memories and sensations. Recently, I was able to put this to a magical use while in my mundane environment. We all have, or at least we hope to find, a regular way to reach a place of calm gratitude, grounding, natural presence, and peace. For me, it is most often after my weekly spirit bath, which is what I call my weekly water ritual for cleansing and refreshing, inside and out. So I chose a brand new scent, something different from my usual palette, and I began using it abundantly at the very end of my bath ritual, when I feel I am almost perfectly newborn and sacred. I swirl around and revel in this new fresh scent and remind myself that I am magical on the inside. Later on, or even a day or 2 later, I can find myself in a tense situation, a crowded rush, or maybe a bustling, short-handed retail floor, with a brief 15 seconds at my desk, time enough for 3 deep breaths, a gratitude, and a stretch. I squirt a few spritzes of this same new-to-me scent on my work shirt and inhale it, reminding myself of how wonderful I feel right after my spirit bath. And alakazam, my focus is back on the present, my heart rate settles, and my customers and coworkers notice a difference as I turn back to my mundane day with a magical thought to carry me.
Well, it looks like the coffee cups are empty for this week. We hope you join us again next Tuesday, but you can find us at our website, twoyoungcrones.com. That's the number 2, Young Crones.
You can also find us on social media such as Facebook and Twitter.
Until then,
remember,
we are witches who work with energies to effect change.
We are believers in both immanent and transcendent divine.
We are celebrants of the passage of the solar and lunar cycles.
We are hedge walkers who pass back and forth between the worlds of the magical and the mundane.
We are seekers of knowledge.
We are walkers of a spiritual tradition we call the path. So mote it be.